Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to make a little video on carving one of these coffins. Kind of go with all the other Halloween stuff I've been carving. If you check out my Facebook page at Scott's Creative Carvings, you'll see all the different ones I've carved. There's a bunch of them. Too many to set up here right now. They just be in the way. But anyway, lots of different Halloween stuff. I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite subjects to carve, along with Christmas stuff that's going to be coming up. But somebody asked me about carving a little casket, coffin, old school one. It's pretty simple. It's easy, kind of easy to lay out, I guess. This block is an inch by 1.5 inches by 4.5. So you can see the thickness of it. And I kind of drew out a little bit over here and did some sketching, but you know, it's nothing big. It's probably easier to just get this design. So all I did is I took this one and put it up here. But if you need to know dimensions, you know, I can give you a quick. So like when you're coming from up at the top, you want to give yourself some room because you're going to carve the top and the bottom. You're going to take off the that factory edge that's on there. So you're going to come down about, that looks like about 1 3/8. And that's where you would bring your first corner down here. So it'd be 1 3/8 from here to here, 1 3/8 from here to here. And then what I did down here is I found the center of this, and then I went on about 1/4 inch on each side of it. So you got a 1/2 inch here. And then I just took my ruler, laid it out like this, drew a line, drew a line, drew a line, drew a line. And that's your basic shape, which is the coffin shape, old school coffin shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to look rustic, beat up anyway. So anyways, I'm going to be using, I'll probably use this Helvy knife today, as well as this Allen Goodman knife. Now, if you guys have seen this one, I did a review on these. They're fantastic knives, and of course you know the Helvies are. So anyways, without further ado, let's get started. So we're just going to start hogging off some of these corners here. I guess I'll mark this. You know, that's going to come off. That's going to come off. All this is coming off, and all that's coming off. And we'll get it as close as possible to what we want to take off there. And then we'll true it up. And while you're doing it, it's a lot easier to kind of like take your knife and make a little mark right there so you know where you got to stop. You don't want to overcarve. Hog these off. And if you're just starting out and you don't have the skill set with a knife yet, it's okay. You can take little pieces at a time. It's not that big of a deal. Just be safe. Make sure you got your carving glove on, thumb guard, all that business. So that's that side. Now let's crank out this side. Let's get our little mark here. Should be about right there. So I just score that little line right there, and I know where to start. Just like so. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. We can true it up later. We're also going to be using a V-tool. So if you got a V-tool, it's going to help you a lot. If you don't have one, you can use a knife for what we're going to be using the V-tool for, but a lot easier if you have yourself a V-tool. All right, now let's take this side. These ends off. Make sure your knives are good and stropped. Let's get a little mark here, just about where we're coming into that. You can see right there. And I'm going to do like one half at a time. I'll take the big stuff off here, and then I'll come back up because it's just a little easier to hang on to. Hope everybody's been well. We're getting into the fall season. Winter's biting at our heels right now. I hate to say it, but I'm not looking forward to it. Never am anymore. I don't do anything in the winter too much anymore other than shovel snow. And it's not any fun. No fun. Okay, let's flip it over, go to the other side. Yeah, there's lots of Halloween stuff you can carve. Boy, I've just been having a blast doing it. I've carved a bunch of it. And also working on some cottonwood bark carving, realistic carving, realistic faces. I was fortunate enough to, if you haven't heard of Alex Lacasse, I was actually fortunate enough to get down or get out and carve with him a few times, and he gave me some good pointers, and it was a real good experience. He's not too far from me, so it worked out. Alex only lives about a half an hour from me, maybe, with traffic. Right around there. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm kind of looking it over and seeing like I need to take some more off of this edge right here, true it up. So if you made all your marks so precisionally, you shouldn't have a problem. Just stay with your lines. I kind of just traced this one out and kind of winging it. No big deal. You just want that basic shape, that's all. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit off this top here too. I usually start kind of at the corners like this. And get some of those edges off. And then I'll take the other piece, the center out. Kind of like that. Just watch your thumb, make sure you got thumb guard on. The reason I say you want to get all these off, because when you go to paint, you want that nice clean edge. You don't want the that factory whatever you call it, that part right there. You don't want that on there. So this one looks like I need to take a little more off this. Just a little bit here. Okay. I'm going to take some more off of this one. Same thing. That's why I kind of had those lines drawn right there, because that's about how much I'll be taking off by the time it's all said and done. Good 1/8 of an inch anyway. This is when you want to have a good sharp knife. And if you look while you're carving this and you see any little white lines in the end grain as you're carving, that means you need to strop, because you got a little nick in there and that'll slow you down. So far it's looking pretty good here. I don't see really any white lines. Just getting it nice and flat. Okay. So that's it. So let's see how they're looking. It's looking pretty similar. Okay. Now as far as these cross pieces here, it could be anywhere, I guess. I just kind of thought this looked cool with the on an angle like that. I don't know if I may have seen it like this before or something. I don't know, but you can use, if you got one of these handy dandy things, these are awesome. I bought this, I don't know, not too long ago. Nice little square. Or you can just use a ruler if you got a ruler. So just draw you a straight line across like this, from one side to the other. Come down below it, give yourself a good 1/4 inch. Do that again, okay. Then maybe doing like a little more of a different angle here. You want it to look like somebody just threw these boards on there and nailed it shut to hurry up and seal it, because it's, who knows what's in here. So I'm guessing 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and then just do one across the bottom like this. Again, give yourself a 1/4 inch. Okay, or so. That's a little shorter, but like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And in fact, I think it looks better if it's not perfect. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to use, go back to this one right here. Allen Goodman knife. And I'm going to take, and I'm going to score a line right down that line, just like that. And when I get to the end, I'm just going to fold over like that. Don't slide off and cut yourself. Just kind of make your mark. Just like that. And when you get to that end, just rock it. Do a rocking cut. Just like that. And you want to go pretty deep. You're gonna go down at least a good 1/16 of an inch by the time we cut all this back. There might be a better way of doing this. I don't know. Maybe you could go with a V-tool, I guess, but we want kind of sharp lines. Like that, and just rocking cut. Like that, and a rocking cut. Okay. Now, we're going to come up to that line just like that. We're going to cut that out. We're going to keep working our way. We're going to take it down a little farther each time. Like so. Okay. Flip it over. So you basically just made a stop cut, and then you're cutting up to it. That's all there is to it. And we're going to go back over those lines too. We're going to make it a little bit deeper, but this is just to get us started. And once you get your knife good and sharp, like mine is right now, it's like shaving. You can almost see through these, some of them. Okay, so I'm going to score this one more time. Put that stop cut in there, rocking cut. Stop cut, rocking cut. And I'm going to cut up to it again because I want this a little bit thicker, a little deeper. You want it to look like it's a board. You could go that route too, though. See the way I just did that? So I didn't quite get deep enough there with my stop cut. So you could cut up to it and then run your knife and cut it off, I guess. Whatever's easiest for you. You could use a gouge if you got a good flatter gouge or a chisel. If you got one of them, totally up to you. Now I'm just trying to even this out so they're about the same thickness. Okay, I'm going to do that with all of these. All right. So because it kind of gets hard to start holding on to, you're going to do probably one side at a time. And be careful. I went a little deep right there, so ooh. All right, it's going to be okay though. There we go. That. We hurry up and get this done. I'll even do the painting portion of it with you. I actually did, on the other one, I did some wood burning too, which is, if you got a wood burner, bonus, because it's going to make things a little easier for you. And I think it looks a little cooler. But you don't have to have one. Okay, now we're going to get this bottom piece. I'm going to be real careful. I don't want to cut that off. I don't want to go in there too hard. I just want to get it out. Like so. I'm going to score it one more time, get the depth there. Hope you can see okay. All right, now I'm going to take some off of here just to even this out. Okay, now you got to get the top one. So same thing. I'm just going to go, because there's nothing for me to hold on to it the other way. So I'm just going to be real careful and cut that out of there. I'm going to score it one more time right now. Okay. So I'm just kind of slicing, putting my knife in and slicing it. But just be careful when you're carving towards yourself like that. Again, if you have a chisel, or if you can use some type of a vise or something, I don't know. I just know where my knife's going. I just got control of it. You notice I'm using my thumb as like a lever, so I'm using it as kind of like resistance, so I kind of got control over it. That way I don't have a knife flying straight at me or into my hand. Okay, now I'm going to take this off up here. And let's look it over, see how our depth is. So I think this one could be a little deeper over on this end. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. That looks good. I don't know if you can see that, if the camera's picking up, but you can see about how much. Yeah, this, I'm going to take that down just a little bit more. Just take a little more off there. Make this a little more proud. So now it looks like we got some boards across there. Now we need to do some slats. Okay. Usually I try to like find the center. Okay, everybody see this? Find the center. Make myself a little mark there. And kind of eyeball it. Make a mark there, and then another one below it. Here, 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 and at the bottom. I need to take a little bit off this bottom yet. It's kind of sticking up right there. There we go. Okay, so then we get the center of that. Now I'm just going to freehand connect these, like so. Very simply. If you want to use a ruler, you can. You don't have to. And then I'm going to make another little board over here. One here, one here, one here, 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 here. Sorry for my camera shaking. It's mounted to my table, and I guess when I'm moving my arms, it's shaking a little bit. Sorry. I don't have high-tech equipment like some of them guys. I don't even edit. Okay, same thing. I'm going to make another board here. And it, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, so don't try to make it perfect. If you got OCD, this might not be for you. I'm just going to draw these, and I don't need to make all those marks. All right. So that's kind of, you know what, I'm going to do, just make it look cool. I'm going to do another one right here. Oh. Like that. Okay. Now this is where a V-tool will come in handy in just a second, but I like to score them first with my knife. Not very deep, just get the tip of it in there. Try not to cut that crossboard. Cut up to it. Like so. I'm going to do all of them. I don't think I did that one. Like so, just every one of them. Get the tip of the blade in there. Remember, when you come to an edge, make a rocking cut. You don't even have to go that far with that one. When you put your V-tool on this, it's going to help you. If you don't have a V-tool, here's what you do with your knife. Okay, now that we got that cut, all you're going to do is you're going to take the tip of your knife, and you're going to slight angle, and you're going to come down, and you're going to take a little tiny sliver out of there like that. And you come to the other side, do the same thing, and you're just basically making a V-cut with your knife. So it can be done without a V-tool. But I'm going to use a V-tool, and I'm going to use, I got this little dockyard set here. And it comes, this particular one came with a, what is this one? 75-degree V-tool, and it's small. You can see how small it is. Great little tools. I use these dockyards quite often. All right, so now, instead of trying to start here at this end, just come up here into the middle. Go like that. Make sure you get enough of it. That's already done because we cut that out with a knife. Take that out. And flip it over and then finish them up going off of the wood. Like that. Like that. Like that. So I just want to go over every one of these. And I'm not putting that blade or the V-tool in very deep. I'm just kind of letting it do its job. Okay, same here. Sure you get them all out. I'm just going to get them all this way while I got it in my hand this direction, then I'll flip it over here in a second. Okay. Finish up the cuts on all of them. Alright, now we'll flip it over. Come up like this. Catch all them. Same here. Okay. So we got all those. Now, I want to make it look like I have a lid. Now, a couple different routes. I'm going to, mark it with my finger. You can use a ruler again if you need to, but I'm just going to kind of go like this. I don't know, what is that, 1/8 of an inch? So I'm going to do about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and that's going to be like the lid. Like that. Okay, that's the lid. Now, you can do on the back side, I'm not going to do it in this video, but you do the back side the same way you did this side without these boards, without these 3 boards. So you're just going to make it look like it's been put together. And these boards would be inside if you're actually building a box like that. But I'm going to put a couple of boards on the side too. But let me get on the smooth side. And I'm going to make it like that. Like that. My fingers don't want to work. Then like this. And then I'm going to do one more. like it's the bottom of the box. Like that. Now we're going to do the same process with our knife. We're going to score these, okay? I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to start with a rocking cut right there, and then I'm going to come in. Rocking cut. Then I'm going to take my knife all the way down. Just try to follow that line as close as you can. You can set it on like this if you need to. Do a rocking cut. Like that. Okay, now we're going to do all of them. Just get this out of the way. Very simple. I guess if you don't have a V-tool handy, and it doesn't have to be a micro V-tool like that. You can just use another V-tool that you have, and just don't put it in too deep. That's all. But you can, if you have to use a knife, just same cut that I showed you on the front. Just make the stop cut that we're doing right now, and then make a V cut after that. Just take your time. Not a race. Don't get in a hurry. Okay. So that's all I need to do with that. You know, you can do this like I did this one. You know, I V-tooled this one out. Doesn't matter. I'm just, for video's sake, I'm not going to do it, just so we're not taking so much time doing that. Now, we're going to run our V-tool all the way around again. Take that little bit out. Same there. I'm going to get this top. Oh, got a little deep there. That's okay. I kind of want it to be a little deeper on this one because it's the lid, and I want it to kind of look like the lid. So don't worry about if you think you screwed up. It'll be okay. Sometimes this little V-tool here it's so polished that sometimes it's hard to see if I got the right edge because it's so darn shiny sometimes. I hope the light is good for you guys. It's very hard to tell. I mean, it looks okay when I'm looking at it on the cell phone here. That's what I'm recording with, my Samsung. All right, come on. Now we're going to take this one out all the way around. Just representing a board that's holding this box together. Keeping whatever's in here in there. And then we get to that bottom one. And if you feel it, like I feel that really pulling, that means I got a grain issue there. So I'm going to switch, come back from the other direction. Yeah, a lot different, a lot better. See how that was pulling? I should have stopped sooner. But I tried to muscle through it, which you shouldn't do, ever. Okay. Man, we almost got this whipped. Oop, Okay. Simple enough, huh? What I like to do too, and this will show up later when we get to our paint, but it's just as easy to do it right now. I like taking this and scoring that on a little bit of an angle. Again, back to the stop cut, or rocking cut, I'm sorry. And just give it, because after we paint it, we're going to get a little bit of definition there. And I usually, I'll hit it with my wood burner as well. But this really does help it. Kind of makes it pop a little bit. You wouldn't think those little tiny slivers would make a difference, but it really does. Yeah, that's good. All right. Okay. So as you can see, on this one, it almost looks like them boards are running underneath of that. And that's the idea of cutting that out a little bit there. And it gives you that effect. Especially if we put the wood burner on it too. Now something else you can do is ever so gently, just go like this, connect them two. Just so gently. Don't press too hard, you'll cut it off. Just like that. And go on this side, do the same thing. See how that almost cut that off? That's how delicate that is. So you're just going to make a little mark there. There's some fuzz. Okay. And you can take your shave just a little bit out of it. Just a tiny bit. I know it doesn't look like much, but these little details are what give your carvings a little better look. Give them a little more action, a little more realisticness. Is that a word? Realisticness? Yeah, just a tiny bit of each one. A little brush on there. Okay. That's that, eh? Now, let me get my wood burner plugged in. I don't have it plugged in. I'll be right back. Okay, so the wood burner's heating up. I'm pretty much done with the carving portion of it. So I'm just going to take off my glove now. So I got, I'm using a razor SK, it's a basic razor. I got my temperature set at 6. I'm using this flat little tip here that needs to be cleaned, but don't got time for that right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, just like this, carefully carve, go inside these, just to give them a little bit of darkness, like so. Okay, so I'll do all these first. For each one. They don't have to be perfect or black, you know, just so when it comes time to paint it, we're going to water down our acrylic paint, and it's going to kind of almost act like a stain, I guess. Not quite, but kind of. On that route right there. Okay. Now, remember I was saying these right here? This is what's awesome about this. Just go just like that. Take your time. It doesn't even have to be that dark. Don't worry if it isn't. Okay, so we get the face, the lid done. That's everything looks pretty good there. You can always go, if you see a spot that you don't think is quite dark enough, like, you know, you can just kind of go like that. Now, we're going to go around this outside edge here for the lid. And I'm going to take a little more time on this and make it just a tiny bit darker. So I want that to pop more than the board below it. Just like so. All the way around. I'm going in pretty deep with this too. And by doing that, what it does is it kind of gives you the effect that it's a lid, that it can come off. If you put a pry bar in there and pried it up, it would come off. That's kind of what we want. I'm also going to, those lines that we did when we cut these out, I'm just going to just very carefully hit them just a little bit. That. Okay, now we're going to go to these other lines, but we're going to kind of treat them like we did the other boards. We're just going to go a little quicker, not as deep. Just a little bit. Just like so. Okay. And we're going to put some other little details in with this wood burner that you can actually do with your, if you don't have a wood burner, you can do it with a V-tool. You can do it with a knife. It takes a long time with a knife, but you can do it. This whole thing you'd be able to do with a knife, other than a painting. Okay, so we went around all those, right? Okay, now because we want these to look like they have grain in them, like they're, you know. So we're just going to make some little marks like this here, just randomly, just like so. I mean, you can even get more technical with this and put like knot holes in them if you wanted. You just want it to look like it's got some grain to it, you know. Very simple. I hope I wasn't off camera there. So just kind of go like this. Go to the sides, the same thing. Just make some random little marks in there. Stagger them around. There's no right way of doing this. And if you didn't have a wood burner, you could take a V-tool and make some little marks in there. And then with a painting technique, you could make them look as if they're darker by doing what they call a wash on it with a darker brown color, and it'll get inside those things, these little marks that you make with your V-tool or knife. But I think a lot of people have wood burners. If you don't, you probably need to get yourself one. They're nice to have. I'm just catching these ends. I forget to do these ends of these boards so it looks like they come all the way to the end. You can see that there, and there. There, and there. So, I mean, you don't even have to paint it. You could leave it like this if you wanted, and it looks like an old clean pine box. That's up to you. Totally up to you. But what I'm also going to do, I'll put some grain on these too. Now this is a little different because the grain, you're going against the grain with them now. So you're trying to reproduce some grain that's a little different. Okay. I'm going to change tips. I have a small tip that I'm going to use now. It's a small little tiny ball that I'm going to switch tips and use for the nails. Just heat up for a quick second here. So you can see like I got little nail holes all the way around it, and on each end of the board here, down at the end, little nail holes. Around the back I put them. So we're just going to go little dot, little dot, little dot, little dot. Like so. Again, nothing's perfect. So whatever's in here, they got it nailed down. I should say whatever, whoever maybe. This kind of stuff is about as much fun as carving. To me, anyway. So that's how that goes, like that. Now, I didn't put any nails on the sides. Imagine you could, you know, if you wanted to. So we're done with that. Now, as far as the painting, all I'm going to use, I didn't wash out my paint from the last time. I'm going to use some, whoops, sorry. Bumped the camera again. This is brown oxide by Apple Barrel. It's a matte finish. It's pretty much all I use is a matte finish. I'm just going to throw a little bit in here. Not much. Don't take much. But that much. And then water. I just take my fingers, dip them in there, and put a few drops in. I don't really have a formula for this, just watery. Just go like that. And I got my go-to mixing paintbrush. And mix this stuff up. And I like to mix it up good and get the thickness out of it. And also get any clumps that might be in, because if you get one in your brush, you'll end up with a dark streak or something. Probably wouldn't matter so much with this carving, but with other carvings, like you know, when you're painting a face or some guy, if you're doing hair or something, you don't want that. Okay, simple. All right. So I usually start on the sides, put it in there, it's just watery down, Just like that. But you can see everything that I wood burned is kind of popping out. Like so. This is a simple paint job here, so everything's the same. You could have put oil on this to begin with. I do that on many of my carvings, but I didn't see it necessary for this particular carving. I just wanted to make a quick video. Somebody asked me about making a video. I think it was, I can't remember his name, over on the Helvey page. Helvey Carving Group. Great carving group if you're not involved with them. They have a really good page that you can see a lot of nice work. I share a lot of my work on there. Great people. Helvey Knives, a very good organization. At this point, it's hard to get their knives, but they do have an auction. It might be going right now. I can't remember. I was going to check on it yesterday, and I got busy and forgot. But anyways, who knows when you're going to see this video. Could all be over with. But check out Helvey. They're good people. Alan Goodman. Check out Alan Goodman. He makes some great knives. If you're looking for a good carving knife, Alan Goodman, he's got a good one. You get Badger State blades. There's a bunch of them. Good, just good knife makers out there. If you're new to the carving community, you're going to find that the carving community is a awesome community. Like-minded people. Everybody's always very helpful, willing to give up information as far as making a good carving. Well, that's it in a nutshell. Other than I didn't do the back, but you know, simple enough. If you want to do the back, just pretty much carve the same thing except for the crossbuck boards, and then you're gonna have an old-time casket of sorts. Be sure to like and subscribe for me. I appreciate it. Every little bit helps me, and I can help other carvers. That's what I'm out to do. I'm not looking to get rich or anything. I'm just trying to give back. This is how I learned how to carve, basically just like what you're doing right now, watching videos. So anyways, if you have any questions, use the comments, ask them. I'll check them periodically. And other than that, thanks for watching, and have yourself a great day. Take care now.